Yeah, all right. So, hi everyone. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. So, firstly, let me give you a quick introduction about me. I'm Kumaraguru T, and I'm a self-trained ethical hacker, and I'm also a full stack web developer and a design thinker. And yeah, I'm also a foodie. And some of my recent achievements are I've won Make Harvard 2021, and I also won a couple of other hackathons hosted by MLH and other universities and some collegiate hackathons. I was also a winner at Facebook F8 Refresh Hackathon, which happened last month. And I'm also invited to Pinnacle, which is set to take place at Dallas. And uh, Pinnacle claims to be the Olympics of hackathons. So you can check out more about me at kumaraguru.me, which is my personal portfolio site. So before starting into a session, it is in order to ace any kind of competition, you should be getting to know about the infrastructure of the competition, and you should also get to know about get to have a clear idea about what the competition means to be. So, firstly, you should understand the difference between competitive coding and collaborative coding. So, competitive coding is something which fully focuses on your coding skills and aptitude. It is a time restricted competition where you can solve basic problems like be it a binary tree or any kind of sorts like bubble sort or anything of that sort. If you just use one single language to make a very simple solution for a problem, that is something called competitive programming. So competitive programming or coding is something which happens in HackerRank and all these platforms where you usually use your aptitude to solve questions. So this is all about competitive coding. But in the other hand, collaborative coding is different. Collaborative coding focuses on building a product or a solution for a real world problem statement. So, in the other hand, the competitive coding part, you will not be addressing real world problems. It will just be problems to test your aptitude and skills. But in the other hand, collaborative coding will test you in your ideation and your novelty thinking and everything of that sort. It's not just about coding and it has a lot more inside it. So, these are the basic differences between competitive and collaborative coding. And I can also give you a few examples about the following topics. So, in competitive coding, mostly all the contests take place in HackerRank and all the other such portals where you just use one single language to solve a problem. And mostly C, Java, and Python are mostly used in competitive programming. And in collaborative coding, you actually go to hackathons or contribute to open source in GitHub or any other repository. So it's just like it's a real world problem tackling solution where it's not about just binary trees or anything of that sort. It is a far more different and complicated than competitive coding. So, if you ask me which one is better, my short answer would be the opinion would differ from one person to another and also based on your goals. So, in case if you are someone who wants to get into a good job or a fan company or something like that, you can just go with competitive coding because competitive coding is currently used for job hunting and everything of that sort. So collaborative coding is a far more different from that. So it is totally based on your goal. And if you are someone who really loves exploring various technologies and various stacks, competitive coding is not as good as collaborative coding. So there is no clear cut answer for this, but it totally depends upon your goal. And yeah, in job hunting, competitive coding is mostly used now. For example, let us consider any company. Maybe it is a Google or any FANG company. Mostly they are using competitive coding to validate the recipients. Like if you are applying for a job at Google, they actually make you undergo a test in HackerRank or any kind of those portals. And the leaderboard people would be contacted them, and based on the results from that, they'll be hired. So competitive coding is currently used for recruiting people at various IT firms. But in the near future, it is expected that collaborative coding will also be in its place because collaborative coding has its own advantages. It's not just about coding, it's about design thinking and a lot of other stuff. So as you know, uh, as of now the situation in India especially is you'll have to know to competitively code with other people in order to get into a good job. So, yeah. So, if your question is how can I get myself involved, there are various resources and platforms to get yourself involved in both of these types of competitions. So, I'll be giving you a list of all the websites or all the platforms which are used in this. So, I can just share my screen right now. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, so firstly, let us see about competitive coding. So there is something called Hacker Earth and something called Hacker Rank, which is mostly used. So all these platforms are basically used for hiring and also to test who is the best developer like within a set of people. So this is something which is used in most of the cases. So there will be a lot of competitions taking place here where you will be given a very small problem which can be solved in around 30 to 40 minutes maximum. So it's very simple. It won't take you days or a lot of hours to solve the problem. But this is also a similar portal, and there are a lot of other portals for competitive coding. I can say Lead Code is one of them. So, LeetCode is one of the best platforms for you to practice competitive coding. You can get to know a lot about the fundamentals of a language, like the types of sorting techniques or the data types and data structures used in a language and all of those sort. So, in order to specialize in competitive coding, you will be required to learn a lot of data structures because data structures is going to be the uh, like the important factor in competitive coding. So coming to the other part, which I like the most, to be honest, I'm a fan of collaborative coding than competitive coding. So I can just take you to my GitHub, and I can also take you to something called DevPost, and there's something called DevFolio. So all of these stuff are basically used for collaborative coding. So a DevPost is a platform where people organize hackathons all over the world. Most of the collegiate hackathons take place through DevPost, and you can see the upcoming hackathons by pressing the hackathons button over here. So these are the upcoming hackathons, and each of these hackathons will be having a prize pool. For example, you have the following pool in this hackathon, and organizer of this hackathon will be shown here, and you'll also be getting to know the mode of the hackathon, if it is online or offline. Since this is a COVID situation here right now, so most of the hackathons are online. So you have more opportunities open to explore in collaborative coding, and you can also view the details and the prices of the hackathon, and you can also see what is expected here and the prices here. So you can see that the overall price here is a 2021 Porsche Taycan something, and the prices are actually better than that of competitive coding. So this is all about collaborative coding, guys. In every competition that you go here, you'll be given a problem statement or a theme. So according to the theme, you will be required to create a product or any kind of solution, be it hardware or software. You will be like required to submit a GitHub repository which contains all your code, and you'll also be asked to pitch. You will be like asked to pitch a video. So I can just show you some of my projects. So these are some of my projects. So as you can see, I can take you to this one. So this project was a winner at a hackathon called BitCamp, which was organized by University of Maryland. So you'll be asked to submit a video about your project. So this is a 2-minute video about how the project works, and I've also attached a number of screenshots and stuff related to it. And so this project is called Vocode, and it uses AI and NLP to make websites by using informal talk. For example, if you say create a login page, the project would automatically make a login page for you. So it's something like that. You can create websites with just the power of your speech. So I can read the whole documentation of the website here. I mean the product here. So how to use and how we built it and everything of that sort. So when you go to a hackathon, you'll be asked to submit all of these documentation. It's not just about creating your project technically, but you'll also have to show them the importance of the project because idea plays a key role here. It's not just about coding something. If, for example, if you're coding a food delivery application, you should tell the judges how your application or your product differs from a currently available application. Maybe let us say Swiggy or something. So you should highlight them about how your application differs from Swiggy. So yeah, so this is all about hackathons. So you should submit a very detailed documentation about how you built it, and you can also link a GitHub repository to this. So all the code that is required to run this project would be in this GitHub repository. So the judges would actually clone this GitHub repository and try it out, and they'll analyze your code, and they'll just uh, they'll be like seeing through all your code, and based on that, they'll be like judging you. So this is all about collaborative coding. I guess my screen is not visible. Let me see what is wrong. Yeah, I hope you can see it right now. So I'll just repeat it once. So there is a website called devpost.com where hackathons are organized. So this is the mainly used platform for hackathons and all these stuff. So once you go into devpost.com, you'll be like seeing something called hackathons in the nav bar. So you can just go inside that, and you'll be finding a number of hackathons which are coming in the next few days. So if you wish to know about a hackathon, you can just go into it and see a detailed view about it. And you will be like asked to submit a project for each and every hackathon. In my case, I'll just show you this project. I'll also share a link to it in the YouTube chat if possible by the end. So once you go into this project, you'll be finding all the details about this project, including a video and also a detailed documentation about how to run this project, and details about the project and how it differs from the currently existing solutions and all those stuff. So you can also see the GitHub repository pertaining to this project. So I can just see it over here. I mean, the judges would actually try cloning this GitHub repository, and they'll be trying to run the same in their device to see if it actually works. So this is all about hackathons. You'll have to ideate and develop a project in a stipulated time slot. So there is also another platform called DevFolio where most of the Indian hackathons take place. So it's like the same way. After you go into DevFolio, you can go into hackathons, and you can see the number of upcoming hackathons over here. So all these are some of the platforms where hackathons are conducted right now. So if you wish to contribute to open source without going to a hackathon, you can also do that. For example, let us assume that you wish to contribute to uh, actually, I contributed to something called IPFS recently. So IPFS is called Interplanetary File System. So it's actually something related to blockchain and of that sort. So you can select any repository that you wish to contribute here, and you can contribute to them related to the guidelines they've given. For example, here when you go to contribute, they would have given you a gist of how to contribute their project or something. So once you contribute to their repository, they can maybe send you returns in the form of swag, or maybe monetary support or anything of that sort. But here I just did it for just did it for my own for fun. Maybe I was just free and I wanted to contribute to something, and I just contributed here. And I can find a lot of other repositories which expect contribution. So this is all about contributing to open source. It simply means that you go to, in simple words, it means that you go to GitHub and find a repository and contribute to it in some way or the other. It may be in documentation or in developing a project or anything of that sort. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me just share the other screen. Yeah. So these are some of the ways to get involved in competitive coding and collaborative coding. So, in simple words, how can I kickstart my competitive coding journey? So, I'm pretty sure if you are enrolled in a college, you'll be asked to attend various competitions in Hacker Rank and Lead Code and a lot of the platforms. So, it's just like you go to those platforms and try solving problems which are given there. So, it's all about competitive coding. It all needs practice where you try using different languages and different methods. There are a lot of techniques like, for example, in sorting, you have bubble sort and a lot of the types. So it's all about practicing with each and every algorithm possible. And only then it will be like giving you a very good overview about how to solve a problem. If you see a problem, you'll be able to figure out a way to solve it in a quickest method possible. So it's all about managing time and completing a problem as quick as possible. So on the other hand, in collaborative coding, it's like you should go to a hackathon and you should get to know about the problem statement. You should find good team members, and then you should ideate for a problem, and then make a final project. So it's all about collaborative coding. And collaborative coding currently is more emerging because people started to think that collaborative coding brings out more qualities of a developer than a competitive coding does, because when you go to a normal competition where you just have to code, that doesn't give a better overview about a developer to a recruiter. So what recruiters see now is that the developers also have side skills like maybe communication skills or documentation skills or anything of that sort. So people prefer collaborative coding over competitive coding in the recent days, and I expect the trend to stay the same because yeah, I believe in the same. I believe that competitive coding is a little shorter than collaborative coding. So yeah, I will also share you a list of some resources which you can use while you enter competitive coding and collaborative coding. Yeah, perfect. So you can see something called GitHub Student Developer Pack, which is one of the most uh, one of the most underrated freebie that you have in that is provided to developers. So I'll also give the link in the end of the session. So once you go into GitHub Student Developer Pack, you'll be getting a number of free resources. For example, there is something called Canva, which I use for making slideshows, videos, and etc. So you'll be getting free 12-month subscription of Canva, and you'll be getting a free domain name, which is in .me, and free hosting and a lot of other things. You'll also be getting free access to StreamYard, DigitalOcean, and a lot of other things. The most impressive part is that you'll also be getting free GitHub Pro pack when you are a student. So you'll be asked to. This pack is only meant for the students, as the name says. So you should be providing them a proof that you are a student. Let us say that you give them your college ID card or something, so that they verify that you're a student. So once you do that, you'll be getting access to everything in this pack, which I already have. So you'll also be getting GitHub Pro when you are a student. So until you are a working professional, you'll be having this GitHub Pro, and this you can find it by just going to your GitHub. You can see there is something called Pro here. So Pro is it actually has its own perks. Like you've got options like you can keep repositories private and you can have unlimited repositories, or I'm not sure. There are some perks for it. So GitHub Student Developer Pack is one of the best resources. And I can also say there is a website called REPL.it, which is a cloud sandbox where you can try out your everything, like even it is competitive coding or collaborative coding. We can just use this website to run codes online without actually having a compiler in your computer. So I can just go here and create a new REPL by pressing this button. So for example, if I want to make a Python project, I can just press Python and I can press create a REPL here. So once the REPL is created, you can just do anything. Like maybe I can say print hello. And there are a lot of other things, like you can also run node servers and a lot of other languages. So yeah, this is all about Replit. And you can also see something called nocode.tech, I guess. One second. Yeah. So nocode.tech has a curated list of low code or no code tools where you don't have to code for creating a prototype. For example, let us say all these tools are no code tools. So I'm sure you are aware of Typeform. Typeform is alternative for Google Forms, which has more better UI and better animations. And in the back end, you also have a lot of integrations possible. You can integrate it with emails and a lot of other stuff. So you also have other tools like I can show you tools like one second. Most of the tools do have a free plan so that you can just try it out. So as you can see, there's a tool called UMSO, which is a website builder. So it is just a very basic interface where you can drag and drop stuff to make websites. So this can be used in your very first hackathon or in the beginning of your hackathon journey, but this can't support you in your long term because coding is different from dragging and dropping stuff to make projects. So coding using an open source technology has its own value, but still it is better to use a no code platform in your first hackathon. So I would appreciate you checking out this particular link to know about a lot of other tools which are available. So this is another resource. Apart from that, if you wish to learn more developer articles and more about more from the other developers around the world, you can go to dev.to, which is a blog meant for developers. So here you've got a number of articles in the front. So if I wish to learn this article, which says top 5 best resources to learn JavaScript, you can just go here. And this would have a curated list of all the resources which are required to learn JavaScript. And I'm pretty sure this will be very, very helpful in your uh, first days because, when there is no one to guide you in the right path, there will be a lot of articles which can help you out. So, yeah, this is another resource. And Hacker Earth also has a number of hackathons in them. And there is another platform called Dare to Compete, which has most of the hackathons which take place in India. So apart from this, I should also tell you about a few communities which involve a lot in hackathons. For example, MLH.io, which is a website of Major League Hacking, is one of the leading organizers of international hackathons. So here, when you come into this website, you'll be like finding a number of blog posts, and you can also see that there are some upcoming events. So all the hackathons will be listed here in their upcoming events. So there is something called Hack 2 coming in July 9 to 11 if you guys wish to participate. So you'll be finding all the events here. And MLH is one of the leading hackathon organizers. And there is another thing called Hack Club, which I am personally a part of. So, Hack Club is an international student run coding community. Uh, this has a lot of great names like Elon Musk and a lot of other people involved. So, uh, you can go to their website, and you can also see something called workshops here, which I think has a lot of value. So if you go to workshops.hackclub.com or go to hackclub.com and press this link, you will be like getting a number of articles. So you'll be finding a number of workshops here. So if you wish to make a personal website, so this will be a very good project for you to start on if you are interested in web development. This is the very basic project that you can work on upfront. So you can just press this to see a detailed article about how to make your first personal website, and all the code will be given here. For example, if you press the final code, you'll be like getting a Replit link which has all the code required for running this project. So yeah, this has a number of articles here. You can also learn a bit of machine learning, web development, and a lot of other stuff here. So you can also learn to deploy a website, and pretty much everything is covered up here. So as you can see, you can run the code over here, and you can also fork the code so that you can try modifying it and running it on your own. I can just show you. You can just press this fork button over here, and you can change the name any way you want. So you can just replace it with my name. And as you can see, we've got the website in the right, so you can tweak a lot of code which are given in this workshops directory, and you can try making it on your own so that you get to learn about how to make a very basic prototype, and it is all very simple tutorials in a very easy language, so it would be far more easier for you. So this is another tutorial which is very interesting, which uses P5JS to actually use render canvases in two devices. Here, as you can see, there is a desktop and a mobile phone. So whatever you draw on the mobile phone will be automatically drawn here. So this is an interesting project if you wish to learn more about socket programming and all of those stuff. So you can actually get to know a lot more about things here. I'll share all these links in the end of the session in the chat. So yeah, that's all about the resources here. Yeah, so that's it from me, and I'll be like seeing if there are any questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer it with the knowledge I have. So yeah, I'm open to questions. If you have any kind of questions, you can just drop it in the YouTube chat, and I'll try to answer it as precisely as I can. Okay, then now I'll just share you a number of links which I spoke about. the resources and everything of that sort. So you can find it on the chat right now. Yes, I have a question. How can I start coding on HackerRank? So HackerRank is basically a portal where you are given tests where you can, attend coding interviews or tests. So I would recommend you to check out something called Lead Code, where you can practice problems and a lot of other stuff. So Lead Code is a better platform to practice for competitive coding. I would recommend that over HackerRank because HackerRank is mostly used for recruiting and examination kind of purposes.